Top 10 toxic Joe Jonas red flags Sophie could not handle. Starting off with number 10, the divorce. A few days back, singer Joe Jonas and actress Sophie Turner's divorce news were just rumors. The couple is used to making headlines, but this time it was confirmed that Joe had filed for divorce to end his 4-year marriage with the Game of Thrones actress. On the same, the reasons for the couple parting ways were also revealed, and people on Twitter are not quite happy about it. Many Sophie Turner fans have come out in support of the actress and have criticized Joe's reason for this divorce and calling it out as a sexist move. Sophie and Joe's dreamy and intimate wedding ceremony pictures won many hearts on the internet, but things have now turned ugly for the couple as Joe has filed for a divorce with his wife. The news was confirmed by People, and now the reason for their separation has also surfaced. As per media reports, singer Joe Jonas is seeking a divorce from his wife Sophie on the grounds that she parties a lot while he prefers to stay at home. As per a report by TMZ, Joe has even appealed for the shared custody of their 2 daughters and is looking forward to getting a proper plan laid out by the court on how to co-parent them. It also added that currently the girls have been staying with their father and also accompanying him everywhere on the Jonas Brothers tour. On to number 9, the Injectables campaign. From co-opting the language of body positivity to the extreme fear of aging, the new campaign from Joe Jonas highlights just how toxic beauty culture can be. If you haven't seen Joe Jonas's new celebrity endorsement campaign titled Beauty on Your Terms, it's basically Joe Jonas lying in bed saying, "Who wants to wake up looking like someone else?" he asks over jaunty background music. "Not me." The singer then gets up and starts to walk through a sunlit house. "There is no one way to define beauty," he continues. This campaign, full of body-positive language about defining beauty on your own terms and looking like yourself, is actually promoting Xeomin, aka botulinum toxin A, a cosmetic injectable that smooths lines and wrinkles, similar to Botox. If the message of the campaign seems to you at all incongruous with the product it's selling, that's because it is. The brand has co-opted body positivity rhetoric, language meant to encourage people to feel good about themselves, to boost self-esteem and counter toxic impossible beauty standards, and used it to persuade you into buying injectables to change your face so that you can fit into these mainstream beauty ideals. What's increasingly becoming clear, however, is that not only do these types of procedures not seem to be empowering individuals, it's also creating enormous pressure on the collective. By adhering to this oppressive system of beauty, we are raising the baseline of beauty ideals and making them less and less accessible to achieve for everyone but the very rich. The beauty ideal is demanding more of all genders, and as a result, we're all in a self-esteem crisis. Number 8, Disney. America's attitude to its teen stars has always reflected this dichotomy. Stars are made to look as desirable as possible, but also expected to be role models, keeping their persona squeaky clean. In this respect, Disney artists aren't so different from the company's original stock in trade cartoons, their caricatures, archetypes, walking advertisements for the Disney way of life. The Jonas Brothers were in their own way the perfect expression of this archetype, marketed as sex symbols to pubescent girls, but also wielding their purity rings to reinforce the point that they were good Christian boys and forever off limits, which of course only made them more desirable. And it's not just them though. Look at Britney Spears with her sexy schoolgirl chic circa. Baby One More Time, along with the whole ruse about her and Justin Timberlake still being virgins, for instance. The thing is, it can be an awful lot of fun living this out, so it's not surprising that serving as an avatar of this ideal has taken its toll on various starlets over the years. There's a fascinating essay in the LA Weekly today about the difficulty of telling where the persona ends and person begins and the pressures that must bring. On to number 7, money-making rules. Of course, you can agree that the rewards, fame, love, a shitload of money make it worth wearing what amounts to a 24/7 ideological straitjacket. Former Disney star Dylan Sprouse certainly had some choice words for Jonas to this effect. As reported on The Frisky, he says, "I think it's bullshit that they were being robbed of choice or creativity. If they wanted to, they could have told Disney no. Cole and I did this hundreds of times. And we ended up alright. The only reason they didn't is because, like many of the people on the channel, I think they fell for the allure of fame. He may or may not be right, although as he concedes, Cole and I had been acting our entire lives, so we saw Disney as a means to an end, money making rather than an opportunity to become successful. But even though he's arguing that what Jonas has to say is bullshit, he actually ends up reinforcing the latter's point. Nowadays, artists just assume they have to do what they are told by their proprietors because there is a rigid structure to achievement. It's nothing more than a scheme to rob you of your individuality and capitalize the gain they acquire from such treachery. It's pretty much exactly what Jonas is saying, the only difference being that the Jonases bought in and the Sprouses didn't. Or perhaps that it took the Jonases longer to realize what the Sprouses claimed they realized straight away. But then, can you blame a 16-year-old kid for not seeing anything more than a man in a suit promising to make him famous if he sticks to the rules? On to number 6, jealous. Although they occasionally still feel envious of each other, the Joe Bros are more mature these days, and their priorities have shifted. In a February 2023 appearance on ABC's Impact Times Nightline, Nick Jonas spoke about where he and his brother stand now. I think we are far less competitive now with each other than we used to be, he reflected, and it's something that was either like right up front if we were in a competitive setting, whether it was sports or whatever we were doing, or it was kind of seething underneath. The jealous singer noted that becoming parents has been a big part of that transformation for him and his brothers. He has one daughter, Kevin and Jonas each have 2 daughters. You realize you know your own sort of feelings about things or your need to do whatever. It's all secondary to that person and their heart and their goals. He's sure that the brothers are all super supportive of each other now, and Kevin chimed in to express his agreement. Number 5, ring camera footage. There's apparently a lot more than meets the eye with this divorce. Joe and Sophie have been trying to claim they mutually agreed to part ways after 4 years of marriage. The Jonas Brothers star filed for a legal split, but now it sounds like something seriously shady went down that caused this explosive separation. In a dramatic twist, multiple sources who have direct contact with the singer told TMZ on Wednesday that he caught the Game of Thrones star saying and or doing something that made him realize the marriage was over, as the outlet put it. Apparently, whatever the actress did or said occurred near a ring camera he had access to, which is how he became privy to the event. This was ultimately his last straw, but there's currently no more information than that. What could she have done that was so problematic that made the Joe Bro immediately file for divorce? What did he see and or hear? We know per previous sources that a big contention point in their relationship was their differing lifestyles, specifically the fact that she likes to party and he likes to stay home. So maybe that has something to do with this. Or maybe there's some other controversy brewing behind the scenes that we don't know about yet. On to number 4, substance addiction. There's been lots of speculation over Joe Jonas's alleged addiction. There's been all manner of rumors bandied out that he's been a major user of hard drugs and other such claims. The former purity ring wearer has since come out to slam such allegations, explaining that whatever we hear about a heroin addiction, it's all ridiculous. The former purity ring wearer has since come out to slam such allegations, explaining that whatever we hear about an addiction is all ridiculous. It's also suggested that the split came about following a rift over Joe's supposed substance problems. Speaking to people, it was clear that Joe's not a bit happy, though whether the rumors are true or false, I guess we have no proof of. Number 3, the purity ring. Back in the original Jonas Brothers heyday, their purity rings were a central part of their image. Disney wanted them to look wholesome, causing the boys to put on an act. Joe, Nick, and Kevin didn't want the purity rings to be mentioned, but they were brought up in an interview, and that was that. Joe eventually admitted he broke his vow of purity with his ex, Ashley Green. On to number 2, stealing songs. A lot of popular pop artists have been accused of stealing songs, and the Jonas Brothers are no exception. The band may have ripped off Portugal, the man's song Feel It Still, with the Jonas Brothers single Sucker. A lot of fans pointed out similarities after PTM tweeted about the 2 songs sounding the same. And finally, number 1, disappointing fans. Fans were overjoyed when the Jonas Brothers announced a reunion tour and immediately scoured the internet to buy tickets. After years of waiting to see them back together, fans in Toronto were incredibly disappointed when the concert was cut short with no explanation from the boys on stage. They later said there were unforeseen technical difficulties, but people were very upset, and one fan said she felt ghosted by the band. But that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about Joe and the rest of the bros. Who's your favorite? Comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time on The Rich Life.